Sunlight poured into my kitchen as I worked on lunch. My daughter Emma, who's 12, sat on a stool at the counter doing her homework. She has her dad's dark eyes and my strong chin. Just as I was cutting tomatoes, the doorbell rang. "I'll get it," Emma said, hopping down. I recognized my sister's voice before she even stepped inside. Victoria always sounded confident, almost commanding. That confidence came from her high-ranking job at a tech company, where she'd spent years climbing the ladder. She walked straight into the kitchen, dressed head to toe in an expensive cream suit. Her designer purse landed on the counter. "Where's your mom?" she asked. "We need to talk about Thanksgiving." "Hello to you too," I said, drying my hands. She barely looked up from her phone. "I'm hosting Thanksgiving this year. It's time someone with real standards took charge." "Mom usually hosts," I said calmly. "She's getting older. Her house smells old, and honestly, it looks frozen in another decade," Victoria replied. "My place has a professional kitchen and space for everyone." Her eyes finally moved from her screen and scanned my small kitchen with clear judgment. "Unlike some homes," Emma went back to her homework, but I noticed her stiffen. "So you're not asking," I said. "I'm informing you," she replied. "Big difference." She pulled out a chair, paused, and frowned. "Is this cat hair?" "We don't have a cat," I said. "Well, something here looks messy," she said, sitting anyway. Her shoes caught the light. Deep red designer heels I recognized immediately. She'd shown them off online just days earlier. I knew how expensive they were. Victoria went on about her plans. She had hired caterers. There would be a photographer. The colors were already chosen: burgundy and gold. Everything would be elegant, nothing cheap. "Everyone needs to dress properly," she said, glancing at Emma's worn jeans, "and I expect everyone there at exactly 4 o'clock. She looked at me. "You'll need to plan your ride. Your car isn't reliable." "It works fine," I replied. "I've seen it. It's embarrassing," she said flatly. Then she looked at Emma again. "What is she wearing for Thanksgiving?" "I haven't decided yet." "Well, decide soon. I'm not having her show up looking like she shops at discount stores," she said. "No offense, sweetheart, but your mom's fashion choices aren't great." Emma stopped writing. "That's enough, Victoria," I said. "I'm just being honest," she replied. "You've always been sensitive about money. You chose teaching instead of a real career." She stood, fixing her suit. "I have to go. I have a meeting." Then she noticed a mark on her shoe. Her face changed instantly. She bent down, staring at it like it was a disaster. "These are brand new," she snapped. "I've barely worn them." "Maybe it happened outside," I said. "No, the sidewalk was clean. It must be your gravel driveway." She straightened up, her expression cold. "You know what? This actually works out perfectly." Victoria walked over to Emma and set her shoes on the counter right in front of her. "Clean these," she said. Emma looked up, confused. "What?" "Polish them. There's a mark, and I want it gone," Victoria said, using the same sharp tone she probably used at work. "You can do that, right?" "She's doing homework," I said. "It'll take 5 minutes," Victoria replied. "I have polish in my car." She was already walking toward the door. "I'll grab it. Emma, make room." I should have stopped her. I know that now. But there was something about the way she said it. So calm, so dismissive, that made me want to see what she'd do next. Victoria came back with a small leather kit. She opened it and laid out the supplies, all of them high-end, the kind most people would never buy. "Watch," she said, polishing one shoe herself. "Small circles. Be gentle. This is expensive leather." She handed the cloth to Emma. "Your turn." Emma glanced at me. I gave her a small nod. She picked it up. "Good," Victoria said. The way someone praises a pet. This is a useful skill. Lord knows your mother never taught you how to take care of quality things. Emma worked quietly, her face calm and unreadable. I recognized that look. It's the one you use when showing emotion feels unsafe. This is good for you, Victoria went on, leaning against the counter. You're learning how to handle nice things. Not that you'll likely own any. She laughed lightly. No offense, sweetheart, but judging by your mom's choices, you're probably heading the same way. Teaching doesn't pay, and neither does polishing shoes. Victoria, I said evenly. What? I'm just being honest, she replied. Someone has to teach her how the real world works. She watched Emma closely. Make sure you do it right. That's all you're good for at the moment. Might as well do it well. Emma's hand shook slightly, but she didn't stop. Victoria checked her phone. I really need to go soon. I have a meeting with the CEO. We're talking about my promotion. VP of Marketing. It's basically a sure thing. She smiled at her reflection in the window. Some people actually work hard and succeed. I took out my phone and scrolled to a contact I hadn't called in a long time. My finger hovered. You know what Emma should consider? Victoria continued. Trade school. College isn't for everyone. There's no shame in being a hairdresser or a cleaner. Someone has to do those jobs. I pressed call. It rang twice. Sarah, a familiar voice answered. It's been a while. Hi, Jessica, I said softly. Are you busy? Victoria's head snapped up. Jessica Park had been my college roommate. She'd gone into tech after graduation and moved up fast. We stayed in touch, quietly. Jessica hated attention. Never too busy for you, she said warmly. What's going on? I'm with my sister Victoria, I said. She works at Meridian Tech Solutions. There was a pause. Victoria Chin, Jessica said slowly. Senior Marketing Director? Yes, I replied. Another pause, longer this time. Is everything okay? Jessica asked. Victoria stood frozen. She's been explaining my daughter's future to her, I said calmly. I mentioned her possible promotion to Vice President of Marketing. The line went quiet. When Jessica spoke again, her tone was different, serious and focused. Sarah, I need to ask you something. Has Victoria crossed a line? I watched my sister's face lose its color. The moment she heard the name Jessica Park, she knew exactly who was on the phone. Everyone at Meridian knew that name. Jessica Park was the founder and CEO of the company. She'd started it 7 years ago with nothing but an idea and a laptop. Now the company was valued in the hundreds of millions. She's making Emma polish her shoes, I said simply. She told her that's all she's good for. There was a sharp pause. She's 12? Jessica asked. Yes. I heard Jessica take a slow breath. Put me on speaker. I did. Victoria Chin, Jessica said, her voice clear and firm as it filled the kitchen. This is Jessica Park. I'm going to ask you one question, and I want an honest answer. Did you tell a child that polishing shoes is all she's good for? Victoria's mouth opened. No words came out. Answer me, Jessica said. I was joking, Victoria stammered. She's my niece. I didn't mean... Did you say it or not? Jessica cut in. Victoria looked at me, panicked. It was taken the wrong way, she said. I didn't mean it like that. Sarah has never asked me for anything, Jessica said calmly. Not once in 15 years. Not when her marriage ended. Not when her daughter needed medical care. Not when her school lost funding and she paid for supplies herself. Her voice grew sharper. She has never used our friendship for help or favors. So when she calls to tell me that one of my employees humiliated her child, I take it very seriously. Jessica, please, Victoria said quietly. You didn't know Sarah was my friend? Jessica replied. Or you didn't know it's unacceptable to treat a child like a servant? The room felt frozen. Let me be very clear, Jessica continued. Sarah and I met our first year of college. We lived together for 4 years. She helped me build my first website. She edited my original business plan. When investors laughed me out of rooms, she believed in me. Victoria was completely pale now. When I started Meridian, Jessica said, Sarah was the first person I told. She celebrated with me. She's been in my home. She knows my family. She's one of my closest friends. She paused. And today, you embarrassed her daughter in front of her. I'm sorry, Victoria whispered. I'm so sorry. Here's what's going to happen, Jessica said firmly. You are going to apologize to Emma, a real apology. Then you are going to leave Sarah's home. Victoria nodded quickly. Tomorrow morning at 8, you'll be in my office, Jessica continued. We're going to discuss professional behavior and leadership values. The promotion? Victoria asked, her voice shaking. What promotion? Jessica replied coldly. You were being considered for VP of marketing. That ended the moment you told a child she was only good for polishing shoes. Victoria's designer handbag slipped from her hand and hit the floor. And beyond that, Jessica added, we're going to decide whether someone who treats children this way should hold any leadership role at my company. I need this job, Victoria said desperately. I have a mortgage. You told me 15 minutes ago that your house has a professional kitchen and a dining room for 20. I said quietly. Jessica's voice softened just a little. Sarah, I'm sorry you had to involve me. Then she said gently, Emma, sweetheart, are you there? Are you there? Jessica asked. Yes, Emma replied softly. Emma, Jessica said gently, you are smart, capable, and kind. What Victoria said to you is not true, and it never will be. Do you understand me? Yes, ma'am, Emma said. Good, Jessica replied. I'll call you later, Sarah. Victoria, 8 o'clock tomorrow. Don't be late. The call ended. The kitchen went completely silent. Victoria stood still, her expensive outfit suddenly looking more like a disguise than confidence. Emma was still holding the polishing cloth. Victoria, I said calmly, you hurt her. Apologize. My sister's face fell apart. Emma, I'm sorry, she said quickly. I was joking. I didn't mean to hurt you. That's not an apology, I said. That's an excuse. Victoria took a breath. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said, she said slowly. I'm sorry I made you polish my shoes. I'm sorry I was cruel. You didn't deserve that. Emma nodded quietly. Now leave, I said. Victoria grabbed her bag, leaving her shoes behind on the counter. She reached the door, then turned back. Sarah, I didn't know. You didn't know Jessica was my friend, I said evenly. But you did know Emma is your niece. You knew she was 12. You knew she was doing homework. And you still chose to humiliate her. That's what matters. Victoria left without another word. Her car pulled away, gravel crunching under the tires. Emma stayed seated, still holding the cloth. I gently took it from her and dropped it in the trash. Mom? She asked quietly. Yes, baby? Is Aunt Victoria going to lose her job? I don't know, I said honestly. That's not up to us. But whatever happens, it's because of her choices, not yours. Do you understand? Emma nodded against my shoulder as I hugged her. You and Miss Park are really friends? She asked. We've been best friends since we were 18. Why didn't you ever tell Aunt Victoria? Because Jessica doesn't like people knowing she's wealthy, I said. She says it changes how people treat her, and I respected that more than I cared about impressing your aunt. Emma looked up at me seriously. Aunt Victoria is really mean, isn't she? Yes, I said softly. She really is. My phone buzzed. A message from Jessica. Dinner next week. Bring Emma. I'd like to properly meet the young lady. I showed Emma the text. She smiled. Small, but real. Can we still have Thanksgiving at Grandma's? She asked. Absolutely, The red heels sat on the counter, one polished, one still marked. I placed them in a box. Victoria could figure out how to get them back. Emma went back to her homework. I finished lunch. The afternoon sunlight still filled the kitchen, but something had changed. The room felt lighter. My phone rang again. "Sarah," my mom said. "Victoria just called me crying about Thanksgiving." "What happened?" "She was rude to Emma," I said. "I handled it." "She mentioned her boss, Jessica Park?" "Yes. We went to college together." There was a pause. "The Jessica Park from Meridian Tech?" "That's her." Mom laughed, surprised. "You never told me." "She values her privacy." "Well," Mom said warmly, "I guess Thanksgiving is at my house after all. I'll make the turkey. You bring the sweet potatoes." Then she added, "And tell Emma her grandmother is very proud of her." "I will," I said. I hung up. I watched Emma solve her math problems, her pencil moving calmly across the page. She was focused, steady, and confident. She always had been. She was smart. She was kind. And nothing Victoria said had changed that. Nothing ever could. The next morning, my phone buzzed at 8:15. It was Jessica. Victoria came in. Her message read, "We talked. She's on probation for 6 months. No promotion. Mandatory training with HR. One more issue and she's out." I replied right away. "Thank you." Jessica wrote back, "Thank you for finally letting me step in. Dinner Thursday at 7. "We'll be there," I answered. At breakfast, I showed Emma the messages. She read them slowly, then looked up at me. "Is Aunt Victoria going to be mad at us forever?" she asked. "Probably," I said gently. "But that's okay. We don't need people in our lives who treat us badly, even when they're family." Emma thought about that, then nodded. "Miss Park sounds nice," she said. "She is," I smiled. "You'll like her." "Does she really live in a big house?" "Very big," I said, "with a pool and 3 rescue dogs." Emma's eyes widened. "Really? Really? And she'll probably let you play with them." Emma smiled, bright, real, and full of ease. In that moment, I knew we were going to be just fine. Victoria's behavior had revealed something important. Not about Emma's value, but about the power of friendships built on respect, not status. The red heels stayed in their box. Victoria never asked for them back. 3 weeks later, I donated them. They were just shoes. Emma was so much more than something meant to serve or be used. She always had been.